We've all been told that sugar is bad for us and that we should reduce how much we eat. But how serious is it? And can you still eat your chocolate chip cookies or should you avoid them completely? What is sugar actually? How does sugar impact you? And is there any difference between kinds of sugar? Let's head to the first question. What is sugar actually? To understand what sugar is, we need to understand what glucose is. Because when I say sugar, you might think of table sugar, which is of 50% glucose and 50% fructose. And there is glucose in every kind of sugar. So, glucose is a simple sugar and your body's main source for energy. And that might sound good, even amazing. And then you might think, why should I be aware of my sugar intake then? Picture the image of a plant, the right amount of water, and it thrives. Too much and it dies. That's almost the same as with humans and glucose. If you get too much glucose, it may cause chronic fatigue, brain fog, inflammation, faster aging, hormonal issues, and then long-term development of type 2 diabetes. Every single body part is burning glucose. Your brain is burning glucose for you to understand this information, your lungs to breathe, etc. And your body doesn't know the difference between sugars. It's all the same when it arrives in the stomach. But then, who is the villain? Glucose spikes. Glucose spikes is a rapid increase in the glucose inside your body. And the more glucose spikes you have, the faster you age. Glycation is what happens in cooking. The chicken goes from pink to brown. And glycation is very similar to aging. And we humans glycate too. We brown as we age. And when you're fully glycated, you die. So, glucose spikes speed up the process of glycating, aka the process of aging. When you experience a glucose spike, your mitochondria inside your body, who is converting the food you eat from food to energy for your body to consume. When you get a glucose spike, you overload the mitochondria. And that's really bad because then it becomes less and less effective at processing the food to energy. And over time, this causes a dysfunctional mitochondria, which causes heart disease, kidney failure, strokes, gangrene, blindness, Alzheimer's, lower limb amputation, depression, violent behavior, and more. And a study on rats showed that chronic sugar consumption makes as much damage to the brain as abuse done in childhood. But how do you prevent a glucose spike? Simply put, you need to put clothing on your carbs, never eat them naked, which is on their own. You need to add protein, fat, or fiber. You need to put avocado on the bread, peanut butter on the apple, and chicken and veggies on the pasta. Another way to prevent a glucose spike is to eat glucose when your stomach is full after meals, because then you'll slow the process of the glucose in entering your bloodstream. And that's how you prevent the glucose spike, because if you eat glucose when your stomach is empty, for example in the morning, you'll speed up the process of the glucose entering your bloodstream, and that will give you a glucose spike. So that's why you need to start your morning off by eating protein instead of carbs. And when you start your days on protein rather than carbs, you'll experience being more energized throughout the day because you haven't shocked your body in the morning with a glucose spike and drained it. And another thing I wanted to show you is how exercise and training impact your body when eating glucose. Because studies on inactive persons and on active persons shows that your glucose stores is 20 to 30% less in inactive persons than it is in active persons. So eating sugar as an inactive person isn't exactly the same as eating sugar as an active person. And the best time to ingest sugar is right after an exercise, because then your muscles aren't resting, they're ready to absorb all the sugar they can get, and then they'll burn it like this, and then you don't get a glucose spike because your muscles burn it really fast. And if you don't exercise, the liver gets too much sugar, and one way or another, it gets to a point where it can't handle it anymore, and it converts into fat, and that's how you get obese. So for this video, the key takeaways is: first, prevent glucose spikes. Second, exercise regularly. 3. Start your day on protein instead of carbs. 4. All sugar is more or less the same. Appreciate your support. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and see you in my next videos.